Hi, good day to all. Please use this video on using CentreAbsenteesStatement mobile app. First, the user has to download the CentreAbsentees mobile app named as TSBIE M services from the Google Play Store. After downloading the mobile app and after installing, the user has to open the mobile app and the user has to click on this officer tab and has to enter the username and password provided to the user. For example, I am logging in with devo_47001 and the password as BIE@123. For all users, the default password will be BIE@123. After entering the username and password, the user has to click on login button. So the OTP will be sent to the concerned user mobile number and the user has to enter the OTP received to the mobile number. After entering the OTP, the user has to click on validate OTP button. So after the OTP is validated, the screen will be displayed to set the MPIN. Here the user has to set the MPIN, which is confidential to the user only and should not be disclosed to any others. After entering the MPIN, the user has to click on set MPIN button. The message will be displayed like MPIN set successfully. So again the user has to enter the MPIN to proceed to next section. After entering the MPIN, the user has to click on login button. So after successful verification of the MPIN, the screen will be displayed, which is shown in the screen. So the user has to download the masters before starting the scanning process. The user has to click on this left side menu and has to click on this download option. There will be 3 masters which the user has to download. One is centers master, second one is subjects master, third one is status master. The user has to click on each section to download the masters. After successful download, the message will be displayed like this. For example, center information downloaded successfully. The user has to download all the 3 masters and has to go back to the previous section, which is called online absentee statement. The user has to click on this online absentee statement tab. Here the dates will be displayed based on which the examinations will be conducted. Here the user has to click on the particular exam date to start the scanning process. Here there will be 4 sections named as blank barcodes, absentees, malpractices, not offered. The user has to scan the barcodes according to the sections one by one in the chronological order. First, the user has to click on blank barcode section. There will be option called are there any blank barcodes with options yes and no. If there are no blank barcodes to be scanned, the user has to click on no. If there are any blank barcodes to be scanned, the user has to click on yes. Automatically, one icon will be displayed to the right side of this section and the user has to click on this scan icon to scan the blank barcode. After scanning the blank barcode, the user has to select the option in this section. One is subject change, second one is damaged barcode, third one is OMR not printed. Suppose if the user scans the blank barcode pertaining to subject change, the user has to select subject change option. and has to scan the barcode of hall ticket number. So after that, the user has to select the second language and has to click on submit button. So the data will be displayed here, which is scanned. Suppose if the user wants to scan another blank barcode, again the user has to click on this scan icon and has to scan the barcode. And yeah, there is one more option called damaged barcode. If it is required, the user has to select the damaged barcode option and has to scan the barcode of particular hall ticket number, and the user has to click on submit. And there is one more option in this blank barcode sections, which is called OMR not printed. OMR not printed means if the barcodes are not supplied to the center due to some discrepancies, or if OMR is not printed, so the user has to click on this scan icon once again and has to click the blank barcode, and the user has to select the OMR not printed option. In this OMR not printed option, there is no provision to scan the hall ticket number. The user has to enter the hall ticket number manually. For example, 2247103427, and he has to select this one. So automatically the second language or the subject which is assigned to that hall ticket number on that particular exam day will be displayed here, and the user has to click on submit button. So in this section we have scanned 3 blank barcodes. One is for subject change, another one is for damaged barcode, another one is for OMR not printed. The user has to repeat the same process if there are more blank barcodes to be scanned. After completing this blank barcode section, the user has to click on next button. So the next section will be absentees. In this absentee statements, the data displaying here will comes automatically from blank barcode section, for which the barcodes are not scanned or the barcodes are not generated. So those data will be displayed automatically in the absentees section. Suppose if the user wants to scan any absentees, you can use this scan icon and has to scan the barcode of particular hall ticket number. So the data will be displayed here, and he has to click on the next button. The third one is malpractices section. Suppose if there are no malpractices cases, the user has to click on no, otherwise the user has to click on the S button. So the pop-up will be displayed to scan the barcode of particular hall ticket number, and the data will be displayed here. The user has to repeat the same process to scan the more barcodes regarding malpractices, and he has to click on next button. The fourth and last section is not offered. If there are no not offered cases, the user has to click on no, otherwise the user has to click on yes, and has to click on the particular barcode of hall ticket number, and has to click on save button. So this is the page which will be displayed after the not offered section. So if the user wants to verify whether he scanned the correct data or not, the user has to click on the particular section to verify the data once again which is scanned, like blank barcodes, absentees, malpractices and not offered. And if the user feels that the data is scanned perfectly and he has to submit the data to the CS, the user has to click on this submit button. So the data which is scanned in the sections will be displayed here, like the number of blank barcodes scanned are 3, number of students absent is marked as 10, malpractices as 1 and not offered cases are 1. Here the total allotted students will be displayed here. The total number of scripts sent after scanning the data will be displayed here, for example 184. So after verifying the data, the user has to click the button forward to CS. So a pop-up will be displayed. Do you want to forward the data to CS? If the user wants to forward the data to CS, the user has to click on OK button. So then automatically a pop-up will be displayed. Online absentee statement is forwarded to CS successfully. The user has to click on OK button. So this is the process through which the DO will scan the barcodes and will submit the data to CS. In next section we will see how the CS will log in and will approve the data. The CS in the same process through which DO logins, the CS also has to log in the same process through the credentials given to the CS. For example, here I am logging in with CS_47001 and the default password will be BIE@123. So after entering the username and password, the CS has to click on this login button. The OTP will be sent to the mobile number available in the database, and the user has to enter the OTP received to the mobile number, and the user has to click on validate OTP. After validating the OTP, the user has to set the MPIN. If already MPIN is set, the user can enter the MPIN directly. So after validating the OTP, the CS also has to download the masters by using the left side menu and the option download. CS also has to download the 3 masters. One is center master, second one is subjects master, third one is status master. The user has to download the masters one by one. After downloading the masters, the user can go back to previous section, and the CS has to click on this online absentee statement. So here the user has to, that is the CS has to select the date on which he has to verify and submit the final data. For example, if I select 24/4/2022, the data submitted by the DO for 24th April 2022 will be displayed here. That is, the data submitted by DO is 3 blank barcodes, 10 absentees, 1 malpractice and 1 not offered. The CS can verify the data scanned by the DO in each section. For example, if the user wants to verify the blank barcode scanned by the DO, the CS can click on this blank barcode section, and you can verify the data scanned in each section. Suppose if the CS finds any discrepancies in the data scan, for example, If the if the CS wants to modify the data, that is, this is not scanned, this is not absentee student, so the CS can modify the data by clicking on this into button. The CS has the right to modify the data and he has to click on next button. So in the data submitted by DO, there are totally 10 absentee students, whereas the CS has modified it to totally 9 absentee students. So he can enter the remarks and he can click on this approve button. Suppose if the CS wants to revert the data back to DO, the CS has to click on this revert option to send back the data to the DO. Suppose if the data is verified and found correct, and suppose if the student if the CS wants to submit the data finally, and the CS can enter the remarks as required remarks and has to click on approve button. So the message will be displayed like this: online absentee statement submitted successfully. So after clicking on the OK button, this message will be displayed. This is not an error. It indicates that there are no pending barcodes to be verified. So the user has to click on this OK button. So this is the process through which the CS can verify the data, the CS can also modify the data, and finally the CS can submit the data, which will be affected the final records. So after process is completed, the CS has to click on this logout option to exit from the mobile app. Thank you. I think this video helps you a lot in using the mobile app for Center Absentees Statement. Thank you.